Hello, and welcome to the next lesson where we'll place the exterior assets. Here, I have two models prepared. I will show you where you can get car models. First, worth looking at is Evermotion. This car is nice, for example. And this one as well. If you're looking for something with a lower budget, you can always check 3D Sky. This car is similar to what I have. This vintage car could work as well. So maybe there is not a big library of cars here, but you can definitely choose something from here. Anyway, let's go back to the scene. As you have already known, this model comes from human alloy with the main model. We can edit it slightly a bit. I want to have this car closed. We can delete the open cars and copy the one from another side. Let's use the symmetry modifier. We can use the mirror and adjust it manually. Attach the doors to the car. Okay, now I will copy and paste the cars to the main scene. As these are high polygons objects, it may take a while to merge them into a scene. Here we go. Let's adjust the cars to the view. Okay, let's shift these alcohol bottles to the side. Okay, and now let's position the car. I like to have them one after another to create an impression of cars parked in line next to the hotel. Let's open the material editor and let's work on the lights of the car. I have light material here, but we want the car that are parked, so I will change this for a Corona material for now. And let's create the reddish semi-transparent plastic material for the backlights in the car. Let's make it quite reflective and semi-transparent, as I said. And additionally, I will add red color absorption. Okay, I will copy this car here as well. Let's position it somewhere in the front of the pedestrian crossing. Now let's create a disc light and position it right in front of the lights in the car. It will imitate the lights shining on the road while driving. And let's copy the light as an instance. We can move it closer. Remember to make it invisible directly, so we'll create only a more prominent glow, reflection on the road with these lights. Add new light select and add the newly created lights. Let's add the lights to the .lit layer to keep the file clean. Okay, now let's isolate the car model and let's work on the lights in the model. We can detach this front lights protection to make it easier to select elements inside. In this particular model, we need to select these round elements and these small lights here. Let's do the same on the opposite side. Awesome! Let's create Corona light material and let's add it to the selected elements. In V-Ray, remember to use V-Ray light material. Let's attach these elements back. Increase the value of the light material to avoid noise later on in the light mix. And let's add a new light select and add the car model to it. Let's rename it Car Lights, for instance. And let's start interactive rendering. Let's go back to the previous settings for the environment and let's turn on other lights. Now let's adjust the intensity of the car lights. We should definitely turn on the bloom and glow effect now in the post panel. In V-Ray, it will be lens effect, so simply enable bloom glare effect and adjust the effect there. So first of all, we need to increase the intensity of the car lights. Let's increase the car light selection intensity as well. Look at this nice effect on the road. You can see that these small details make a huge difference on the visualizations. Now let's increase the value of the reflections in the light settings. And let's copy the orange color from another light to have a more suitable color here. Of course, we'll go more towards white, but the goal here is to make it slightly towards the general tint. And let's copy the same color to the car lights. Increase the intensity. These cars look good. Now let's do the red ropes that divide the road from the hotel driveway zone. Create a line, and let's isolate the objects. We'll use the Rockland library for this. Go to Architecture, Entourage, and Props and choose Crowd Control, and choose Rope Barrier. Add a spline. And here we go. Unhide all. Now let's select all the cars and rope barrier we've just created, and let's add it to the new layer selected street underscore props. And let's delete these layers. Okay, now we'll work on the background buildings. You'll find the backgrounds buildings as a bonus for this course, so I'll use them here. They come from Evermotion and they work pretty well for this kind of purpose. I select them all and merge them into the main scene. Okay, let's add these objects to the street underscore building underscore model layer. And let's delete the whole street underscore building layer that includes our boxes that imitated the buildings before. We can delete this part as it's not needed. Okay, let's start interactive rendering and let's see the results. In the meantime, let's turn on the fog layer. And let's delete this alloy layer to keep our layers clean. The rest looks fine. Okay, let's use the regions to render the building quicker. Okay, so first of all, it's quite dark here. And you can notice that there are some lights inside the buildings as well. Maybe let's start from adding the lights that will lighten up this building. Let's make the color more towards the white. Let's work on this part first. Let's use the exclusion option and change it to include. Now add the building so the light will not affect anything else. Okay, something is going on here. Let's increase the value. Now let's adjust the position to achieve a nice effect. To avoid lots of noise, increase the intensity value in the light settings and decrease it in the light mix. Let's make the lights white for now. Okay, we can copy this color and adjust it. Okay, let's copy the light to another side and let's position it so it nicely lightens up the building. We need to include these buildings as well. Maybe let's turn off all the lights to make it easier to see the results. Let's make the size of the gizmo smaller, and let's copy the light. We can decrease the intensity value. Let's turn on other reflection lights so we can see if this works well together. We need to adjust the color. Let's see how it looks on another side. Okay, we can leave it as it is for now. Okay, now let's isolate the buildings and let's take a look around to see what we have here. You can see that we have interiors in the form of the texture. Let's work on this. Ungroup the buildings to make it easier to get the materials. Okay, we have the material. Let's select some window polygons and let's create Corona light material to imitate the lights inside the building. Apply the material to the polygons and let's use the diffuse map. Start interactive rendering. It doesn't look like it's working. We probably have the material on the other side. Let's check the emit on both sides option. Here we go. Problem solved. We can increase the intensity. Nice. By the way, this is a really cool technique that can save you tons of time. It works quite well for the background buildings as we don't need to have lots of details, but it still gives an impression that something is going on in the building. We can adjust the color as well. And I will make it even more intense. It looks really good. Let's unhide all and let's see how it looks in general with other lights. Awesome, I really like this effect. Okay, so let's work on the rest as well. Isolate all needed buildings. We can isolate the ones from another side as well. Let's add those lights to the new light select layer so we can keep it clean. Ungroup the building and let's select the correct plane. It looks like this plane is slightly too big. Let's move the vertices. And let's create the Corona Light material and use this map. Applying to the plane. Let's see how it looks. Let's increase the intensity. And let's turn emit light. The effect is not too visible. Let's check what causes it. Okay, so the material is working. Let's desaturate them up so we don't have these blue spaces. Let's select the object by the material and move it to the front. Better. Now we can go back to the more saturated version. And let's go to the camera view to see how it looks from our perspective. We can try another method here. It may work much better. Let's see. Create a sphere light and start interactive rendering. Okay, we need to increase the intensity quite a lot. Okay, now let's see the glass material. We need to adjust it. Delete this map. And reset the IR values. By the way, I think we can adjust the color of the bricks as well. And now, let's adjust the window frames as well. I make it grayish. Okay, now I will move the lights closer to the front. Let's copy the light. We can make this one less intense. And let's copy it again. And let's do this one more time. maybe one more to the lower level. Let's adjust it slightly. I think that this method is better and looks more natural. Let's do the same in this building. Let's copy the lights and let's position them in the empty spaces. Nice. It gives us a nice effect. Creates a sort of depth. Let's unhide all and see how it works all together. Let's turn on the other lights. Nice. It's getting more and more detailed. Let's adjust a couple of things. Now it's time to work on another side. Let's turn off all the unnecessary layers. I will copy this building here. Let's turn the layers back. And let's turn interactive rendering to see how it looks. Okay, for this side, we need to change the intensity. As we copy the buildings as an instance, we need to break these instances. And now, let's try to adjust the intensity value for this building separately. Let's delete all the objects from this slide. And this one as well. And let's add the building on the side from scratch. Okay, it works well now. Let's adjust the position of this light. Let's decrease this value. Okay, let's add the lights to the new light layer. Let's name it building underscore lights underscore inside. Now let's add street lights. They are from Evermotion and you have them as a bonus to the course. So let's merge them to the scene. Now let's select them and isolate them. Now let's look for the references for the streetlights. I will search for traffic lights. So we can see what colors we have. We need to recreate it now in the software. Let's create a sphere light and let's make it red. Remember to make it invisible directly. Now let's copy the light and position on another side. This time we'll do it orange. Let's turn on the fog and let's see what we have. First of all, let's make it white and let's increase the intensity. We want to create a nice glow from the lights caused by the fog. Okay, as it creates quite a lot of noise, let's change the intensity value in the lights settings. And let's do the same for another one. Okay, now let's copy this light and move it to another traffic light. The same on another side. And adjust the intensity. Okay, and finally, let's copy it to another one as well. I will increase the intensity for all. And now, let's unhide all and see how it looks all together. especially the one in the front. It frames the image and adds a foreground layer. I think that this light is a bit too distracting. Let's reduce the intensity. Okay, better. It works really nice all together. At the end, let's adjust the material of these lights. Let's increase the Fresnel IR to make it more reflective. And let's make the gray a bit brighter. Actually, I think we can make it darker. Yep, it looks better now on the top part, but I think we need to adjust it on the pole. So let's copy the material, apply to the element, and let's make it brighter here. Yes, it looks way better now. It doesn't distract us from the hotel this way. Okay, awesome. Let's select all traffic lights and add them to the new layer to keep the scene clean. Okay, we did a great job together. Long lesson, but it made a huge difference in the results. See you in the next one.